leveraging on tech, right? Okay, fantastic. Leveraging on tech, right? Our visa focus will be the Global Talent Visa, the Innovator Founder Visa, the UK self-sponsorship route, right? Those are our focus for today. So if you are interested in this route, please pay close attention. And if you have questions around this route, drop them on the chat or in the chat and we will get to them, right? There are loads of benefits why we are leveraging on tech, right? Because the tech route gives you opportunity to move with your family, gives you a clear pathway to settlement. There are no ambiguities, no bottleneck. Once you're on path to settlement for most of them, right? You can move with your family. They're also beginner friendly. They're flexible, right? And generally speaking, they are cheaper, right? So for global talent, for example, I think it's about £750 or thereabouts to for the endorsement fee. If you compare that to other routes and the visa fee of other route, it is extremely higher than that, at least twice that price. So they're affordable. You just have to plan towards it, right? So those are the benefits, right? So we'll be talking about tech. We're eMigr8. We're a tech-enabled visa platform for relocation and settlement, right? We have our app that is running, that is up and live across all anywhere you can find your app right now. So Android store, iOS store, and even on our website, you can download our apps. There are gifts, there are loads of gifts on the app. And if you're on the call, to the end of the call, we have gifts for you, but only those that have the app are able to access the gift this time around. So please download the app. There are a lot of information that we have curated over time that are on the app that you can benefit from, right? With respect to if you're moving to the US, moving to France, Australia, Hong Kong, and the UK, we have rich deposits of information that has been curated over time, right? And these are some of the resources I'm talking about. So we've had open day and had guests that have spoken extensively across multiple channels, across multiple countries, and the opportunities that are available globally. So from the US to Canada, to Hong Kong, to Australia, we've had conversation around them, right? Around those countries and the opportunity to move, especially leveraging on tech, right? Our special focus is tech-enabled visa opportunity. That's what we discuss here, right? So if you go to your iOS store or your Android app, Google's Play Store, you will find our app and you'll find loads of information and videos, resource that you can use on your journey to becoming globally attractive, right? Move and settle in the UK as an entrepreneur, as a tech entrepreneur, and self-employed professional within. So if you're a startup founder, this will benefit you a lot. If you have an idea, if you're a freelancer, right, in the tech ecosystem or the tech space, this session will benefit you a lot. If you are a tech enthusiast, this will clarify some of the information that's out there for you so that it's simple and you can start building a self-directed roadmap that you can use, right? emigrate.com/tech is our website for those of you that don't know about it. And also we have our app running live now. So we have a lot of information. emigrate.com/tech visa is our website that you can get information. You can book appointment and speak to coaches, book appointment to speak to coaches, book consultation time, coaching sessions via the app or via our website. All right. So we have this package running and we've kept it for a while because a lot of people are benefiting from it. So settle in the UK as a tech talent. This speaks to entrepreneurs still, tech entrepreneurs, founders looking to move, and even talents, individuals looking to move to the UK. We have settled in the UK as a tech talent. It has fantastic opportunities, fantastic, including moving with your spouse or dependent. There are no restrictions there. It allows you switch visa. So if you're already in the UK, this is a fantastic visa route that you want to look at, right? It is friendly to beginners because you can plan towards it, and it's also friendly to expert also. We need at least 3 to 6 month timeline, estimation at least, to be able to get you across the line. So the earlier you start, the better. And you will need a bit of funding for investment funding budget for investment because of the requirement for one of the visa routes. So for settling in the UK, we're combining 3 visa routes that will get you settled in the UK and give you pathway, straight pathway to settlement. So if you're already in the UK, you want to pay attention to these and ask more questions with regards to this campaign that is ongoing. All right. We have other edition coming up, so this happens every month, right? So we'll pay attention again to our social media page, pay attention to our app. You get notification for the next speaker who's coming up. Today, Coach Bade is in the room today to give us a breakdown of the various visa route that we'll be talking about and answer loads of questions also. So pay attention to our app, pay attention to our social media page, pay attention to our email and messaging. We'll communicate who is coming up next and what visa route we'll be talking about in the next eMigr8 Open Day. All right. Again, eMigr8, we're a tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. We're a platform that enables individual and businesses, right, move to different geography, leveraging on tech. Now, how do we go about that? So our mission is to help you become globally attractive. And we do this by profiling correctly your tech profile or your tech-enabled business profile, right? Making sure you're meeting global standard and you're ticking the boxes that qualifies you to play in the global leagues, right? And the side effect of that is, countries will give you visas to come into their ecosystem and replicate your success in their own economy so that they can grow their economy. So yeah, our focus is making you globally attractive, and the side effect of that objective is you will get visas to nations. We've had opportunities, or we've coached people who have had opportunity to have multiple offers, the O1 visa, the Tech Nation visas, they have multiple and they had to choose which one suits their family, which one suits their tech business in terms of customers market fit, all right, product market fit, and which one suits their global vision for their life. And they had to make a choice. So what I'm trying to say is that we make it globally attractive, and the side effect of that is that you can make a choice where you want to live geographically, in terms of countries and continents. All right. So for the newcomers, and also I'll just remind those that have been here before, what our services cover at eMigr8, right? General inquiry sessions like this, information section like this, open day, it is, 85% of what we do are free or is free, right? So we have coaching session, hand-holding session, assessment session to pre-qualification status, just to know if you are qualified for any of the visa, any of the tech visa that you're looking to engage, all right, or you're looking to explore, right? We also do self-directed roadmap to qualify you for a tech enabled visa, right? So look at what you have done in the past and look at your journey, your contribution to the tech ecosystem, your innovative ideas that you have built, right? We can put all those together, dot the I's and cross the T, just to put your best and help you put your best foot forward for these visa route. Right, so roadmap to a globally attractive tech profile is what I just described. We also help review the global talent visa for the UK. We also help review the endorsement review process for those that need review for their, in case the first application did not go through, right? So most of what we do, 85% to 90% of what we do is free, but we have premium services to cater for individuals who who are asking for premium services, right? So we have personalized coaching sessions. We have standard package to review your application and do introductions, right? And give you information that you can use. We have, custom services that are tailored towards your specific uniqueness, right? But most of what we do, like I said, is free. We have videos on YouTube that you can leverage on. We have resources on our app, at the eMigr8 Visa app that you can leverage on that are free. We have free coaching sessions that we do give out that is free. We have free open day sessions like this that you can ask your question and we can answer you in this call, right? That is free, right? So take advantage of the opportunities that is before you, go to emigrate.com/tech visa. That's our site. And you can also go to our app and, let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know what visa route you are exploring. Let us know what service you want us to help with. And we'll connect you with the right coach and with the right mentor that will help you navigate your through your journey, right? So thank you again for joining. These are the eMigr8 Tech visa packages that we currently speak to, the various visa type that we currently speak to. This is not an exhaustive list, but we just had to sort of put this in front of you so that you know what we have expertise in, and we have coaches in-house that can walk you through, right? So move to the UK as a global talent, that speaks to the global talent visa. We also have moved to the UK as an innovator founder, which is directed at startup owners, tech entrepreneurs, tech business owners, right? That's focused on the UK innovator founder visa. We're going to be talking about both of them today, right? So you chose a good session to join. We also have moved to the US as a global talent that focuses on the US O1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability and achievement. And I like to say all of us on this call right now have extraordinary abilities, and all of us have achieved significantly more than we think we have achieved. We just need to sit down and review together your journey, and you will be amazed the stuff that you have done. And we also have coaches that can walk you through Canada startup visa. We have coaches that can walk you through the skilled worker visa for the UK, for example. We have coaches that can walk you through self-start UK route visa. This self-start UK route visa focuses on skilled worker visa. So it's self-employment and it's self-sponsored, right? We can have this conversation. We're going to be talking about that again today. Coach Bade would shed more light on that. If you have any questions so far, please use the chat. We'll get to it. We have an amazing eMigr8 community, very vibrant eMigr8 community across multiple social media platform, WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Feel free to join any of our communities, right? What I ask is that you be kind enough to interact, to engage, share your questions, and let everybody benefit from the answers. Like, retweets, share our post, let everybody know that this information is available, right? People are paying thousands of pounds going to do the third masters in the UK because they don't have this information, right? You don't need to do multiple masters. You can go straight using the tech visa route, which is way cheaper than paying school fees for a master degree that you probably would not need. All right. So join the community. I will drop the links to the community so you can join. I like to say be brief and brilliant when you're asking questions in the community to allow everybody an opportunity to also ask their own question. All right. Again, we have our app. If you are looking to, if this is your first time of joining, you can connect us via our app through any of the channels, the iOS App Store, the Google Play Store, and the eMigr8 website. You can download our app straight from there. We have gifts, and we have, for someone that used the app for straight 7 days, we have gifts that we have given to them, right? And that is still running, right? You can book coaching session. You have free videos, free resource, documentations, how to write, for example, your reference letter or your personal statement. We have, articles that will help you structure those mandatory criteria, in such a way that it stands out and it is captivating enough for any assessor to be able to say, okay, this meets the standard. Now, we have articles that we have written in the past. We have sessions that have addressed that, and they are all available on the app. And you can start your journey through eMigr8, right? You can start your journey through eMigr8 itself. So, like I mentioned that we have giveaway. So if you achieve a 7-day streak on the eMigr8 app, you can earn a free coaching session, right? If you achieve a 7-day streak, that means if you visit the app for straight 7 days, engaging, reading and stuff, right? You can win, you earn a free coaching session. So I think that is a beautiful way to sit down with a coach and share what you're working on or the visa route that you're exploring and have your questions also answered. Right. eMigr8 is not an entity all by itself. We exist in an ecosystem, right? We were incubated by the Bincom Dev Center, and the Bincom Dev Center is a technology hub that generally builds individuals from beginner level to expert level, and also giving them opportunity to migrate with their talent. Now, the Bincom Dev Center have programs like the Bincom Global Tech Program. The promise of value for this program is that you're going to learn tech skills, right? You're going to gain exposure. Tech skills across data science, data analytics, Python, of course, Java, the back end and the front end, dev skills also, right? So those skills are available. Anyone you want to learn, DevOps also, you can learn on the Bincom Global Tech program, and you're going to gain exposure because you're going to be working on real life projects, right? You're going to be working on client-facing project, real life project, get direct feedback, right? And that will help you build your skill sets and your confidence. And this is ideally you know, very good for beginner level. You can start from there, but it's also very good for intermediate level. And it's also good for an expert who is looking to learn new skill, right? Or build out new skill sets. You can jump on the Bincom Global Talent Program. Bincom Global Tech Program, I beg your pardon. To start with that, just go to bincom.net/global tech. It's where you want to begin from. There's a short form. We want to know where you're at and what you are looking to learn so that we can connect you with the right cohort. We also have Become a Tech Talent. This is focused for folks that are already in the UK or looking to move to the UK. So if you're already in the UK, you're looking to switch jobs and you are looking to switch visa, this is a fantastic way to get experience, all right, get a tech training, right, and sit down with a tech coach to understand the markets, understand what you should be working on, and also look at the opportunities as regards to the tech entrepreneurship within the UK ecosystem with UK companies, all right. And this package has been subsidized to £1,000 for 3 months, right? It has been subsidized, beg your pardon. That's subsidized for to £1,000 for 3 months. It's a pathway to landing tech visas for those people that are at, maybe advanced level or intermediate level, junior developers and senior developers alike. I think that's the language that most people understand. Junior developers and senior developers can take advantage of these to get tech jobs in the UK and also switch your visa. Tier 2 jobs usually come with some companies sponsoring your visa, right? There's a phone number on the slide. You want to take that number, send a WhatsApp to that number or send a text to that number and you'll get a response, or go to bincom.net/global tech. We want to know who are you, where are you on your journey, and what requests do you have so that we can pair you with the right cohort or with the right coach. That's why we're saying go through this route so that we can address you appropriately. Right. The Bincom Dev Center also have a mentorship platform, right? So most of the tech-enabled visa platform will ask, what have you done for your tech ecosystem, right? What have you done, for your tech ecosystem? And one of the easiest way to answer that question is if you're a mentor, how you have mentored XYZ number of people, within the tech ecosystem where you are domiciled, right? It comes in handy if you're looking at Technician. It comes in handy if you're looking at even the O1 visa. So you have to, you have an opportunity with the Bincom Dev Center to join the mentoring team. And you also have an opportunity, if you're a tech enthusiast, to join as a mentee, all right, on this platform and grow together. So we connect mentors to mentees and we connect mentees to mentor on the Bincom mentorship platform. All right, so if you go to bincom.net/mentors registration, that's where you want to go to. And we just want to know who you are. Are you a mentor, right? What's your skill set? What's your stack? Your full stack developer? Are you a C-suite leader or executive? We want to know so that we know where to connect you with and who to connect you. What area of specialization are you is your skill set in? For example, are you good with Python? stuff like that. So we can connect you with a tech enthusiast or a mentee who is looking to build out their career in data science or in data analytics. All right. Now, this is a fantastic platform. It's called Labs by Bincom, right? Because most of the visa route that you will see in terms of that you can leverage text on, they will tell you, have you worked in a product-led digital technology company, right? So have you built a product-led digital technology before, right? And that's why we curated this because TechNation, for example, will frown out consultants because they haven't built the product themselves, right? So if you are in the services part of tech, if you've man or operated a call center in a technology company, you understand the language, but you haven't built a technology product, you might have a challenge applying for some of these opportunities that's out there. So we have this platform, the Tech Lab by Bincom, that allows you build a startup, right? Allows you build a startup from scratch, right? You do your ideation, you do your product market fit, you build and you take to market, right? And all this happens between 3 to 6 months in a cohort of 3 to 10 members, right? And you guys can build your startup and take it to the market. And you can use that as one of the things you've done to apply for this visa. You can add that to your portfolio of product, that you have built. If you have multiple products already, it doesn't hurt to add more products that you have built on it. So it's a fantastic way to understand the tech ecosystem. It's also a fantastic way to understand the startup ecosystem, to build and take something to the market, right? So bincom.net/lab is where you want to go to. It's a fantastic avenue or platform to build your skill and to build a product or a startup from scratch with a team, right? And you can add this to your CV, add this to your portfolio, all right? And here we go. Other services, we also have the tech career coaching service, right? So for those of us that are already in the UK, for those of us that are looking to come into the UK, you want to understand what the UK tech ecosystem looks like, right? You want to speak to a coach, a career coach in that field. Yeah, and the advantage of doing this is that you land your next role faster because you understand what the market is requesting for, right? You understand the skill set you should be building out, right? So you build relevant experience in your targeted country. And it also allows you, the platform connects you to recruiters and also connects you to job with work experience within the UK and the US. So you want to take advantage of this if you're already in the UK or if you're looking to move to the UK on the Tier 2 visa, which is a skilled worker visa. The Tech Career Coaching Service, it's available and is open for everyone to join. It's a paid platform, right? I had said that up front. But to start, you go to bincom.net/tech career coaching, right? That is where you want to go to, and we'll connect you with the right resources or the right people or the right coaching that can speak to your uniqueness. Now, these are all, this is not an exhaustively, but this is a representation of the visas that we speak to here at eMigr8 and visa by country. And so we've spoken to Innovator Founder Visa before, and we're going to be talking a lot about it today. And that is on the startup visa, right? So we have spoken to a lot of talent visa in the past, right? Today we're going to be speaking about global talent visa, which is otherwise called TechNation in the UK, right? But we also have global talent visa for Australia. We have a video for that somewhere online that you can find, right? And we also have coaches that can speak to that for you. We have the German startup visa. We have the global talent stream for Canada. We have the Canada startup visa. We also speak to the French tech visa. We speak to skilled worker visa for both the UK and the EB1, EB2, NW, and NIW visa or H1 visa for the US, right? We have loads of information around this visa. We've spoken to them extensively in the past. We're still going to speak to them extensively today, right? So we also have now UK self-sponsored routes that you want to take a look at if you are looking to sponsor yourself. And we're going to be talking about that today, right? So you can do a screenshot of this and you can go online on Google and, there are lots of information regarding these visas. and their countries that have been put out there. You can start the journey on your own. If you have any reason to want to ask questions, bottleneck, you can come in, book a session with any of our coaches, and we can help you unpack it. Or you can go on our app and start the journey directly with us, and we're happy to walk with you through your journey. All right. One of the key, common denominator across the various visa routes on this slide is the fact that they are looking for individuals that are globally attractive. They're not just looking for anybody, but they're looking for individuals that are globally attractive. Are you the top in your class? Yeah. Are you first among equal? Are you set apart? And that is why we exist as eMigr8, to help you be first in the class, to help you stand out from the crowd, to help you put your best foot forward, and the opportunities we speak to, gives you pathway to settlement, gives you opportunity to move with your dependent and family. The opportunities we speak to gives you as a beginner and a timeline that you can walk through. So it's very beginner friendly, right? And we're focused on tech-enabled visa pathway. We can recommend you to other platform that speaks to education and health, but we don't speak to those on this platform. We're focused on tech-enabled opportunity. And we've discussed in depth in previous edition what we speak to. So we have loads of resources on our app and on our website that you can leverage. We also have, we curated the 2023 visa landscape, right, across the visa landscape we speak to. So there were a lot of changes. So for example, the startup visa was changed at about February or April last year to the innovator founder visa. There are a lot of changes that predicts what would happen in the future. For example, there are a lot of changes within Technician. There are a lot of changes within innovator founder visa, as it were, that we've captured in this report, right? If you need a copy of this report, I can share the link with you in the charts, and you can go read and understand what happened in 2023 and how that is affecting or playing out on the various visa routes in 2024 and beyond. Now, if you think you don't yet qualify, I beg to disagree with you, right? And because I think there are a few things that you should be doing. One is, let's curate a journey with you, a roadmap, right? A personalized roadmap that will lead you from a newbie, if you're a newbie, or from an intermediate level, or from a junior developer level, or a senior developer level, to a point where you can testify that you are now globally attractive. And because you start getting opportunities, invitations, and requests, to lend your voice and lend your skill sets and use your talent to grow platform and grow ecosystem, right? So we move you from newbie or from beginner to intermediate to expert, right? So that's what you should be doing. We have coaches that can help you build that roadmap, that personalized roadmap within the eMigr8 platform and within the eMigr8 community. Just request and we'll connect with you. But for today, we have information around the UK Global Talent. We have information around the Innovator Founder Visa. We have information around the UK self-sponsorship route, all right? And we're talking about move and settle in the UK as a tech entrepreneur and a self-employed professional within the tech ecosystem for today. And we have Coach Bade in the room. Hi, Coach Bade, and he will be taking us through the focus visas that we're speaking to today. And if you have questions, put it in the chat, and I'm going to take the questions alongside with Bade once he's done with his presentation. Right, we're going to take questions, and hopefully time will allow us answer everybody's questions. So I ask that you start early to start dropping your questions so that we'll get to it as soon as possible. Hi, Bade. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Modi. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. You're welcome again to eMigr8 Open Day. As Modi has mentioned, today we wanted to focus on the entrepreneurs, the self-employed individuals, the small business owners in our community, eMigr8 community. And we wanted to just share some information as regards different routes that you can use if you fall into that category, that you can use to move to the UK. And in some cases, for those already in the UK, you could also explore these routes as a pathway to settlements in the UK. We'll be talking about 3 key visa routes today. It's by no means exhaustive to say this is an exhaustive list of everything you should explore, but we feel like these are some of the top ones that you probably should know about and you probably should explore. The first one is the UK Global Talent Visa. The second one is the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And then the third one we will talk about, it's new on the eMigr8 platform, is the UK self-sponsorship route. So those are the 3 routes, visa routes that we will talk about for a moment on this platform. We're hoping that you would have questions. We're hoping that we would get into an interactive session after I just give a bit of an overview of each one of these routes. Of course, the time I've been given isn't enough for me to be able to share every single thing that we know as regards this route. But we believe that it would be useful for your journey to have as much information as possible. I need to mention that this is not immigration advice and this is not legal advice. We do our partnership on the eMigr8 platform, that is, we have partnership with lawyers, we have partnership with immigration consultants and so on, but that's not what we offer on the eMigr8 platform. What we offer is coaches who have experience as regards different routes and different visa routes. And based on that, they are able to coach other people. They are able to handhold other people. They are able to point people in the right direction. That's what we actually do on the eMigr8 platform. We do our partnership with law firms. We do our partnership with immigration consultants and so on. And so if you do need that, that is available. We can signpost you to that asset when needed. But it's important to mention that nothing we say on this platform, on this session, nothing we say is immigration advice nor legal advice. And I'll just start with the story around economic value because, and for those of you on the call and those, even if you're watching the replay video after, could you let us know how many of these country flags that you do recognize? You can just name as many of the countries that you do recognize. You can name them in the chat. And these countries are just a few of the countries all over the world that are offering one sort of startup visa, entrepreneur visa, or the other to attract people who are able to add economic value to their jurisdiction. They are not doing you a favor. The reason why the visas exist, and today we are focused on the entrepreneurs in the room. If you're not an entrepreneur and you are not interested in being an entrepreneur, that's fine. We've had other sessions that are focused on other routes as well for you as a tech professional. But for today, our focus is on entrepreneurs in the room. They are not doing you a favor because ultimately, what these countries of the world have banked on is that if they're able to attract you into their economy, you will create jobs, some of them high-paying jobs. You would employ their population. You would bring your intellectual property into their jurisdiction. You will pay taxes, some taxes really high, some maybe not so much. And there are several different economic value that they understand that they will derive from you being in their economy. That's the only reason why these visas are available. Every tech visa we talk about, but particularly these ones we're talking about today for you as an entrepreneur. So the lowest common denominator, as Moody mentioned earlier, is that be globally attractive and you do have options across the world. But today, we are focused on the UK, the United Kingdom, to say what are some routes that you can explore to move to the UK if you are interested in moving to the UK, or pathways that you can explore to settle in the UK. I'm coming back to the chat in a moment for those of you that mentioned country flags, and I'll just keep that. So if you still want to, please mention as many of the country flags that you do, that you recognize from the last slide. So these are some of the options for entrepreneurs, for self-employed professionals in the room. The UK Global Talent Visa, where the UK is asking for the globally attractive individual, the brightest of the brightest in their profession, to say you can come to our economy and you can do anything you want to do in our economy. So now this visa is not just for you as an entrepreneur. If you want to work somewhere else, that's also fine. If you want to do a side also, that's fine. If you want to work anywhere else, that's fine. But if you want to start your own business, that is also fine on this visa. So unlike the UK skilled worker visa, for example, where you are tied to your employer and you are not able to start your own business, this visa, the UK Global Talent Visa, is different. You are very flexible. You can go to school if that's what you want to do. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do in the UK. There are two exceptions, which is that you can operate as a medical professional, a doctor, and you also can operate as a sports person. Those are the two exceptions. Aside from that, you can do pretty much anything else you want to do in the UK. One other thing to just mention is that with the UK Global Talent, I'll talk a bit more about it in a moment, you need to earn some income in your expert skill. They will not check it while you're on the visa, but at the point when you want to apply for something called the indefinite leave to remain, they will actually check to say, have you earned some income on your expert skill? So that's important. So it could be within your business and your business will be paying taxes, or it could be you as a professional working for a different company. The second visa, and I will talk a bit more about each one of these visas. The second visa is the UK Innovator Founder Visa. Now, with this visa, what you will need to do is that you will need to create a company that the endorsing body, and there are four of them so currently in the UK, the endorsing body, one of those four, is able to adjudge as that your company is innovative, viable, and scalable. There's an additional requirement recently when this visa was created, because the history is that it used to be called the UK Startup Visa and the UK Innovator Visa. That has been combined to the UK Innovator Founder Visa, which is that they want to also check that you are actually a genuine founder. So that's important. Just to mention, for these visas I'm talking about today, all three that we're talking about today, the visa is not only for tech professionals. However, the platform you are on today, we are very biased. We are focused on tech visas generally. We're focused on tech people. That's what we are focused on at the moment. So just to mention that even if you are not interested in technology and you're interested in some other types of businesses, you can actually still explore these routes. But we're speaking with tech entrepreneurs in the room mostly today. So that's the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And the last one we will talk about is the UK Self-Sponsorship Visa route. Now, this is not actually a visa category in the UK. With the UK self-sponsorship route, what you actually will do is to create a company. That company will get what is called certificate of sponsorship, be able to sponsor workers in the UK, and that company will sponsor you as the owner of the business in the UK. So that's what is called the UK self-sponsorship visa route. So this is not you hiding from the Home Office or anything like that. It's perfectly legal. The Home Office is aware. In fact, you will own your business 100% as part of the process. So it's important that when you're doing this, please don't go through gray areas and all of that. I'll talk about that in a moment. Make sure that as part of that process, you are open even to the Home Office, because you don't want to have issues down the line. So the UK self-sponsorship visa route is the third one that we'll talk about during this section. A few people have asked to say, why are you not talking about the global business mobility? option. And the reason is because it doesn't have a direct pathway to settlement. And the maximum time you can stay in the UK with that option, the expansion worker visa, the maximum time you can stay in the UK is 2 years. So you get the visa for 1 year first, and then you renew for another 1 year. So it doesn't really make sense if your objective is to settle in the UK. You could use it as an intermediate visa if your objective is to settle in the UK, but as the visa to use for settlement, that's why we are not focusing on it on the eMigr8 platform. All right. So one of the visa options that we've mentioned is the UK Global Talent Visa. A question I will ask just before I go on is that which one of these visa options would you like us to spend more time on? We will talk about all three, but which one of these would you like us to spend more time on? We already asked the question in the eMigr8 community and we got some feedback. I would just like to get a sense if we have the same feedback. So I'm going to spend about 5 minutes or so, or 3 to 5 minutes or so on each of these category, and then I'll use the last time amount of time for whichever one we feel like the community wants to hear a lot more about. So with the UK Global Talent Visa, first of all is to mention that the visa is available not just for the field of technology. The visa is available for different industries. So it's available for the field of technology, digital technology specifically. It's also available for arts and culture, engineering, research, and so on. As I mentioned earlier, on this platform, we are focused on tech visas. So I will talk about the digital technology variant of this visa, but the principle is the same for the others as well. So with the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology, you would also hear this visa also called the Tech Nation visa. And the reason for that is because there is only one endorsing body as of today. That will likely change in a few months' time. But as of today, there is only one endorsing body, and that company is called Tech Nation. And so that's why that visa is also branded as Tech Nation visa. So you could see it as Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology, or you could see it as Tech Nation visa. Now, with the Tech Nation visa, what you need to show is that you are globally attractive. You're a leading talent in the field of digital technology. With this particular visa, they are biased towards you working in a product-led digital technology company. So if you've been working in consulting, they are not as attracted to you. However, don't count yourself out because there are different methods towards how you could show to Tech Nation that you do qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa still, even if part of your background has been consulting. So product-led digital technology, what does that mean? Startups, companies that has a product at the forefront of what it is that they are doing. You are not just using technology to help your business. Every business should be doing that today, but your actual business is that technology. That's what they are talking about for product-led. And the principle behind it from a UK perspective is that they want to become the fintech capital of the world, the technology capital of the world. And so they want to attract those people that can help them become that objective that they've set for themselves as a country. And so with the UK Global Talent Visa in the field of digital technology, what you would then need to show is that there are 5 criteria in total. You need to qualify under 3 out of those 5. The first one is leading talent. The second one is you need to show innovation. You need to show recognition. you need to show significant impact or contribution. And then finally, academic excellence. There are two broad categories of the visa. The first category is for exceptional promise, and then the second one is exceptional talent. Exceptional promise, you can only qualify if you have less than 5 years of experience in the field of technology. Now, hear me well. I said less than 5 years experience in the field of technology. It means even if you have maybe 20 years of industry experience, but then your technology experience is just 2 years, you could still qualify as exceptional promise. So bear that in mind. So you could have been a lawyer for most of your career, but then you now switched into legal tech. At some point within the last 5 years, they could consider you as exceptional promise. Second category is exceptional talent. And exceptional talent, you need to show that, I mean, you are usually more than 5 years of experience, more than 5 years in technology, and you want to show that you are exceptional talent. Of course, the bar for exceptional talent is higher than the bar for exceptional promise. For exceptional talent, it's 3 years to indefinite leave to remain in the UK. For exceptional talent or exceptional promise, it is 5 years for you to get to settlement, which is indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So that's a quick overview of the UK Global Talent Visa. If you want to learn more, or if you're looking at applying, the first place we usually will recommend you take a look at is the Tech Nation Visa Guide. It's a very long guide that will take you about 1 hour to read. We advise that you read it twice. The first time, read it like a storybook, but then the second time, read it with a pen and paper. Because what you want to do is that you want to then compare your profile to what they have described in that guide. Are you already qualified? And maybe if you are not yet qualified, could you be qualified in the shortest possible time based on whatever strategic actions that you would need to take? And just to mention, for those in the room already familiar, if you are currently working on your Tech Nation visa application and you need help, you can get that help on the eMigr8 platform. And it starts from free. We run a freemium model. Over 80% of what we do on the platform is free, right? But we do charge a premium as well for some of our services. And so if you need help, either you've applied already and you got rejected and you're wondering why, or what can you do better for your next application, or if you don't want to waste that money and you want to just make sure a second pair of eyes takes a look at your application, or if you need a bit more support or handholding, you can ask on the eMigr8 platform. The second visa we will talk about. And so if you have questions as regards the UK Global Talent Visa, please, you can drop those questions in the chat. We're opening the last segment for today. We'll be focused on answering as many questions as time permits. The second visa pathway we will talk about is the UK Innovator Founder Visa route. And with that route, what the UK is asking is that you can go to the UK and build a company that is innovative, viable, and scalable. There are 4 endorsing bodies. One of them, GEP, I'll talk about them for a moment. I may not have time to talk about them now, but we've done other sessions focused on each one of these routes. 4 endorsing bodies. And what you need to do is your company has to be new in the UK. You could have started the company in your own economy, but you are bringing it new to the UK. This is important for a couple of reasons. I'll hopefully get to it. So you are starting a company. What you will need to present to the endorsing body is a business plan. And that business plan, the endorsing body is going to analyze based on those three criteria I've talked about. Innovative, is it innovative? Is it viable? Is it scalable? In terms of additional checks that now happens, they also want to know, are you a genuine founder? Do you have what it takes, the level of expertise it takes for you to actually be able to run this company, this idea? Are you important for that idea to thrive? They are not interested in ideas, for example, for you to say, oh, this is just me creating a wrapper for somebody else's technology, which means that it is easily replicable. They are not really interested. You are unlikely to get endorsed. They are not interested to say, oh, this is something that somebody else is already doing in the UK. I just want to do what the person is already doing. You are unlikely to get endorsed. It has to be innovative in the sense that you need to be able to show that even if it is something that already exists. I use the example of social media. Facebook was not the first social media. And so in analyzing your idea, the UK and the endorsing body and the assessors, they are aware that even changing the way things that we already know are being done is innovation. It's important that you're able to tell the story of why what you have come up with is innovative. Why is it different from whatever else exists? So Facebook, for example, came up with the news feed to say, oh, wouldn't it be nice for you to have a place where all your friends, you can see what all your friends are doing at the same time. That's what made them different. But then you would say Instagram, for example, would you have called it innovative when Instagram started? Yes, it was. Even though all they were doing was photo sharing. They were bought for $1 billion, more than $1 billion eventually. My point is that don't discount some of the things that you've thought about so far to say, oh, this wouldn't qualify as innovative. You also need to show that it is viable. You also need to show that it's scalable. I'll just talk about viability for a moment. One of the things we advise you to do is that try and find out from the potential customers in your home economy if they are interested in this product. In fact, if you are working on our package, we run a premium package supporting Innovator Founder Visa. We would work with you to build a minimum viable product so that when we are talking to the endorsing body, we are not saying people will use this. We are saying people are already using this. Now we want to bring this to the UK to expand it. And that's why we have many of the successes that we have today on that route. So that's the Innovator Founder Visa route. The company does not need to have existed. So the visa requirement does not say the company must exist. But we've seen better successes to say the company exists, but not yet, not in the UK. It's important, very important. Do not register the company in the UK until you have been endorsed. This is important information, and we can talk about that maybe in a coaching session in terms of the reason why, or if time permits, we can talk about it during question and answer. So that's the second visa, the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And this is yet another visa that is available to you as an entrepreneur that you can use. Pathway to settlement. It's a direct pathway to settlement, right? You could potentially qualify for ILR within 3 years. But please bear in mind, for this particular visa, your startup must be, in my local parlance, I come from Nigeria, your startup must blow. Your startup must be successful because requirements for ILR for this visa route, there are a couple of conditions. Your company only needs to meet 2 out of those conditions, but please do check those conditions before you leap to make sure that you are in this for the long haul. You are ready to really push this startup with everything that you have got. Your startup needs to employ up to 10 full-time staff, for example, all of them earning minimum wage and all. If you look at those requirements, the truth is that they could be basic if your startup was a billion-dollar business, even if it's a $100 million business. But your startup must be successful. So this is important to note with the UK Innovator Founder Visa. Of course, there's the fake it till you make it approach, but that's also something to mention. So if you have questions as regards the UK Innovator Founder route, please drop it in the chat so that we could get to as many of those as possible. The last route we'll talk about is the UK self-sponsorship visa route. And with the UK self-sponsorship visa route, as I mentioned, it is not its own visa category by itself. So if you go on Home Office website, you will not find UK self-sponsorship as a visa category. Of course, if you do a Google search, you will find a lot of information about the self-sponsorship route as well. But it's important to mention this is not a visa category by itself. It is creativity, but creativity that the Home Office is aware of, right? And what the self-sponsorship route entails is that you create a company. That company you create a company, that company will become a registered sponsor, a registered employer that can sponsor people and that can issue certificate of sponsorship. And then that company, your own company, then sponsors your visa. You can go through this route if you are looking to move to the UK. You can also go through this route if you're already in the UK and you're looking for an option for settlement. So just to mention that this is available whether or not you're already in the UK or you are looking to move to the UK. Now, I said it and I know I said it and I may have made it sound very easy. It is not hard, but it is also not easy because there are many roadblocks that you need to make sure you don't fall into. There are also traps to make sure that if you're going through this route, make sure you are trusting people that are knowledgeable about the route. This is important. Also, please come with clean hands, right? There are people that are doing that route in a way that can put you into trouble in the future. Understand that your visa is tied to your company for the duration up until the point when you get an indefinite leave to remain in the UK. What that means is typically 5 years, but it could be 5 years, let's say 5 years, right? And so you need to make sure that you're doing things right. You don't want to get into trouble of not running your company right, and then your sponsorship is withdrawn by the Home Office. So it's important that in going down this route of UK self-sponsorship, which gives you flexibility because you are tied to an employer, but the employer you are tied to is yourself, your own company. It's the UK skilled worker route that you would get. So it's the UK skilled worker visa tier 2 that you will get, but you are tied to your own company in these routes. You can still possibly do 20 hours part-time with other companies in the UK if you want, but you will primarily be working for yourself. like I mentioned earlier, this visa as well and this route is not tied only for tech people, but on this platform, we focus on tech. I'll speak about, if you're not in tech and not interested in tech, I'll talk about what you can do in a moment. It's my next slide or the next one. So with the self-sponsorship route, you need a company in the UK. Your company needs to meet the financial requirements, and the financial requirement is basically based on your business plan, because your business plan needs to show how your company can employ that one employee, or maybe many more employees than the one employee. But from the start, at the point when you get the sponsorship license, you need to show that your company can afford to pay £40,000, £38,000 really, but our target is usually £40,000 on our on eMigr8 platform. You want to show how your company is able to afford to pay £40,000 a year to employee, or at least to you as an employee of the company. There are a bunch of documents that you will need, but I'll just mention that you will also need an authorizing officer. Usually would be appointed as a director of the company, and that person has to either be British or already be settled in the UK. So you need that authorizing officer, because that person would be the one in charge of the SMS. That person will be the one in charge of compliance and making sure that you have a solid HR system. Your company, that is, has a solid HR system that can maintain the sponsorship license. There are many things to it. You need to be able to check the right to work for employees. You need to be able to ensure that NI is paid, and there are several other things along those lines that needs to happen. And so the first step would be to get the sponsorship license for your company. Of course, the first step is to actually register the company, get the sponsorship license for the company, and then you would then be able to apply for the skilled worker visa. But you issue yourself a sponsorship, and then you'll be able to apply for the skilled worker visa. As with the skilled worker visa, at the level of £40,000, you are able to bring dependents along as well. So for all the sponsorship, all the visas that we've mentioned so far, you are able to bring your dependents with you to the UK. So that's the UK self-sponsorship route in a nutshell, just explaining what it is. And this is something you can look at. If you're a student, for example, and you're looking for a pathway to settlement in the UK, this is a route that you may want to look at. It's important to mention, though, you will need to be able to pay yourself. Your business has to generate enough money, or you have enough investment to be able to pay yourself and also run your company. You would have to have a British or a settled person as a member of, as a either consultant or a member of your team, possibly as a director of the company. That usually will come at a fee and so on. So it's important that you're able to do that. And so that comes to an announcement we're making, and then we'll come to the questions, which is that we have now introduced the UK self-sponsorship route on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. We're doing this in partnership with a company called Sure Start UK. And so that route that I've just described, the UK self-sponsorship, is now available on the eMigr8 platform. And you can actually explore that route through eMigr8 Visa moving forward. Also, our partner, Self-Start UK, in conjunction with eMigr8 platform, we are hosting a premium coaching session as regards the UK self-sponsorship route. The first of that session is happening this Saturday, the 21st of August. It would be a drill down session into everything we've said and a lot more things that we haven't yet said, right? We will drill down. So even if you're looking at doing this yourself to say, well, I'll find the lawyer that will apply for sponsorship for me, I will do all of the processes myself because I'm trying to save cost, we will drill down into some of the things that you should make sure you consider and the things that you should make sure that you avoid during that session. It's a group coaching session. It's not one-to-one session, as it's not a one-to-one session, it's group coaching, but you'll be able to ask as many questions as possible and also drill down into that to see if it is right for you. It's a paid session. The price is actually £50 per individual joining. However, we do have an early bird discount, which ends tomorrow. So if you're watching the replay video, the tomorrow we're talking about is the 22nd of August. The early bird discount ends tomorrow, which is for £20 only. Also, if you're a member of eMigr8 community, you get an extra 20% discount. For you to get that discount, you simply want to ask on the eMigr8 community, any one of the communities, whether WhatsApp, Telegram, or any one of the eMigr8 community, to say you are interested in a self-start discount for the group coaching session happening on Saturday. And if you announce that on the community, the administrator will be able to send you the discount code. And so you can go to this URL, bit.ly/self-start-UK, if you're interested in attending that session, to register for the session. It's a premium session as well. So what next? Based on what we've said so far, and I'm going to be handing over to Moody at this point. What next is, are you able to deliver economic value? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you self-employed? Do you already have a business running in your own economy that you can actually move to the UK? That may be a more optimal route for you than anything else you may be considering. We don't know. We're not offering you legal advice on this platform. But please be sure that you have considered all your options and you are picking the one that will work best for you. And if you do not yet qualify for some of these visas that I've just mentioned, don't forget that the eMigr8 platform is there for you to help you be qualified within the shortest possible time. We have handholding, we have other options available to help you get there. I promise to spend more time on the visa route but I've run out of time. So what we'll do is that during the question and answer, we'll be able to then spend time on the one that we see mentioned the most in the chat. In the community, it was around the UK Global Talent Visa. On this chat, it's around the UK self-sponsorship. And so, Moody, over to you. We can go to question and answer, and then we'll use that to mop up any information that hasn't yet been shared. Thank you, everyone.
All right, fantastic. Loads of information there. Thank you. Thank you for being thorough and going through it. The first question I would like to start with is, can you please share the link for the session that you talked about, the premium session on the chat, so that people can just use that to register, those that are interested, use that to register and they can go from there. All right, fantastic. So guys, this is a quick Q&A session. Remember that the session on Saturday, the Saturday now, is going to be paid. So you have the opportunity to have your group coaching now by asking questions on this call, right? And please be brief and brilliant. Let's have more people question answered, or let's be able to answer a lot more question. Right. My question is, the first question we're going to be, I think that's the first question for tonight. Let me check. Yeah, starting from the top. All right. I'm going to be taking the questions from the top. So drop your questions. The earlier you do that, the sooner we get to you. All right. For those that are interested in joining Labs by Bincom, the Bincom mentoring platform, the links are all on the charts. If you scroll up, you would find the link to join this platform, to join the eMigr8 communities. We just saw Bade give another 20% discount for folks that are in the eMigr8 community. So there are a lot of gifts, giveaways that do exist in that community that people take advantage of. So that's another reason to be part of the eMigr8 community. So my question is, are all these visa routes sponsored or we are paying for the visa? But that's the first question, right? The person wants to know um if all these visa routes are sponsored or he or she is paying for the visas. I think that's simple, right?
Um, maybe the person wants to rephrase the question. So there are home office fees. So home office is the department in the UK that manages visa applications, amongst many other things. They manage the police and many other things as well. So there are home office fees to all of these that I've just mentioned. Also, about 7 or 8 years ago, the UK introduced, maybe a little longer than that, something called the IHS surcharge, which is your own contribution to the National Health Service, NHS. You would have to also pay for that for yourself and also your dependents if you are moving with dependents. So dependents will be your spouse and maybe children as well. If the
All right.
question is as regards the eMigr8 platform is structured as a freemium platform. So we do a number of things for free, but we charge a premium as well. So you can get support for some of these routes on the free side, on the app, on the community during these open days, or you can get premium support as well directly from the platform based on different things offered by the different eMigr8 coaches on the platform.
All right, fantastic. So home office collect their fees. I like to put it that way. So the visa route, there are different payments that the home office required and request for. And Badi has done well to list some of them. So one of the things I tell people, for you to be globally attractive, if you want to move to a new geography, you have to do your own findings. You have to do your own research. Things like visa fees you should know, how much those cost because they are very much available online with a simple Google search, right? You can find informations like that. All right. So there are visa fees for each of the visa routes that we are talking about, right? I'm interested in the UK tech visa or tech. Okay. Please, I need your question. Thank you. Right. Can you use an existing business registered in the UK? But it is a question now. Can you use an existing business registered in the UK for innovator founder route? It's already an existing business registered in the UK already.
So it's yes and no. The simple answer is yes, but you would have to prove a couple of things, right? So the visa is available for you to bring innovation to the UK or start innovation in the UK. And this is part of the reason why we say, generally speaking, avoid registering the company in the UK before you start, right? Because at that point, the question would be, are you moving that innovation to the UK at that point? In terms of the visa itself, it doesn't restrict you, but we've just seen from experience that that is one of the reasons why an overzealous caseworker can decide to say, oh, this is already in the UK, you don't qualify, although you've gotten endorsed. So just be careful what you're doing. You can possibly explain that away if you are already in that boat, but if it's possible to avoid that, maybe you want to avoid it.
All right. Okay. Another question, can the innovator visa be renewed if you don't meet your indefinite leave to remain request?
Yeah, yes, it can be renewed. It can be renewed. I don't think there's a limit to how often it can be renewed. Don't quote me on that. Go check what the Home Office documents say. I don't think there's a limit though, if I remember correctly, but you will need to go through endorsing bodies again, right? So you have to go through the same hassle you've gone through before of making sure that your idea and your startup is endorsed at that stage where it is at that point.
Okay. All right, that came up later. So guys, you want to drop your questions? This is a free inquiry session, free group coaching session, right? So you want to take advantage of it. All right, somebody's asking, is this self-sponsorship route available in or with the US visa?
Um, so in the way I've described it, no, but there are other options in the US that you can consider, and there are several different visa options that we support on the eMigr8 platform. On the platform, we support the EB1, we support the EB2 NIW, for example. We support a bunch of visa options, the O1 visa, we support that as well on the eMigr8 platform. But aside from the ones we currently support on the platform, there are several other visa options available in the US that you can explore as well. But what I've just described as self-sponsorship is specific to the UK based on the specific UK immigration laws.
All right. And I'd like to add to that we have loads of information around the other US visa route. All right. Including the one that you can move with your business. So you want to explore that on our platforms. If you go to our app there and just search for the video, you'll find it there. Someone is asking for the exceptional promise. So back to Global Talent Visa. Is it okay to include accomplishment or volunteering to a global course that was longer than 5 years ago? So this is the promise. This is promise now, and the volunteering took place more than 5 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you are applying for promise, first of all, your experience has to be over 5 years. So if you've been volunteering in tech more than 5 years ago, you are no longer going to meet the exceptional promise criteria. So first of all, that would be the first thing to navigate.
I think you want to take that again. I think you said over 5 years rather than over 3 years for promise.
It's 5 years.
If
It's
you're
five.
applying for promise, not talent.
Yes. So if you're applying for promise, or you can't have more than 5 years of experience in tech.
Correct. Okay.
So
All
the
right.
fact that you are volunteering in tech more than 5 years ago, you're already in tech, right? So that's the first issue. The second one is that the documentation that is expected of you for the UK Global Talent Visa is supposed to be within the last 5 years, whether you are doing promise or talent, within the last 5 years. So even if you talk about things that you did more than 5 years ago, they are not really going to put a premium on it. You are sort of wasting space. You can talk about that in your letters. You don't have to put evidence. They don't want has-beens. They want people that are current champions in their local ecosystem. So bear that in mind.
Okay. All right. The next question, we're back to self-sponsorship. Can a trade company, imports and sales of commodity, try the self-sponsored route? And the person also wanted to know which is easier, innovator or talent or self-sponsored. Out of the three, which of them is easier?
Okay, then I'll start with the first question. Any company can qualify. So a trade company, yes, can qualify, but you need to show in your business plan how much money your company is going to make or how much investment you already have to ensure that you can actually pay yourself. The companies that we would say avoid are regulated industries. So like finance and a bunch of other regulated industry, we would say avoid them. The reason is because before you can even register that business, you will need to get approval from the regulatory body for that particular business. So there are a bunch of businesses where we would say avoid them because it would just be a lot of hassle. You're just adding more steps into your process. Of course, if you're passionate about it and that's the business you're running, that's fine. Just go and make sure you get whatever approvals you will need for that business as part of the process. So yes, you can import and sell commodity. You can decide you want to open a shop. You can say you want to sell in globally or locally and so on, as long as it's a legitimate business. You would be able to use the self-sponsorship route. You also have to, you as the individual, need to show how you are skilled to run that business, right? So that's something you may want to bear in mind as well. Second question, which is easier, global talent, innovator, founder, or self-sponsorship? It depends on where you are, right? This is part of why it may be easier for you to do maybe a one-to-one session with a coach so that they are able to sort of drill down into your profile, and then they are able to say, oh, fine, this is what you should probably target first, and so on. Because it depends on many things. We've ordered it in the way we think generally you should look at them in terms of how attractive the visas are. Global talent is more attractive because it gives you the most flexibility. Some people call it the gold standard in visas in the UK. The innovator founder visa is available, right? If you have an innovative idea that you are running with, particularly in the field of technology. The UK self-sponsorship is also available, but you need to, and it's available for any type of business, whether innovative or not innovative, but you need to be able to fund your company as well as fund your own salary in the UK. So it's up to you, depending on your unique circumstance. So I can't say this is the one you should go for, or in your words, which is easier. It's the wrong question. Which is right for you should be your question.
Fantastic. And the next person knows exactly what they want, right? And is asking, I want to inquire about the global talent visa, the global talent. I think I have the required 5 years experience and have product-led experience. I'm currently in the UK on the tier 4 visa. And give me a minute. Let's see what we have here.
How would eMigr8 support for the documentations?
Yeah, I'm trying to see something. It is a pop-up that's distracting me. Yeah, I'm currently in the UK on a tier 4 visa and currently work with an international company. How would eMigr8 support for documentation with respect to global talent? This person is asking, so I'll leave that to Buddy.
Yes. So the first thing is, are you qualified already? Right? I didn't say you require 5 years of experience for this particular visa. There are visas like that. So like the UK, the US EB2 NIW, for example. You could have 2 years of experience in tech and you would qualify. And you could have 30 years of experience in tech and you would not qualify. That's not what we are looking at. What you need to look at is to do an assessment of yourself to say, am I already qualified? And you could do that with eMigr8, or you could do that by yourself. Second thing you want to then do is that if I'm already qualified, what is my roadmap of documentations I need to submit to show the assessor that I am qualified? eMigr8 can support you with that. If you are not already qualified, you still need a roadmap. This time, the roadmap is, what is my roadmap towards qualifying within the shortest possible time? eMigr8 can support you with that as well. We can support you with coaches who are experienced in the route, with resources. Some are free, some are paid. We can support you with the community of other people that are also treading the same pathway as you. And there are several other things available on the eMigr8 platform that can help. At the point when you are also putting together your application, eMigr8 can support as well. If all you need is just a second pair of eyes to review your documents before you submit, eMigr8 can help. If what you need is, oh, I need help with people helping me put together my documents, of course, it's your documents. We are not generating documents for you, anything like that. But if you need help with the logistics, with the technical writing, whatever it is that you need, eMigr8 is likely to be able to support. If all you need is just information as well, and maybe inspiration, eMigr8 is able to support. The eMigr8 app is a good place to start. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of sweat and blood to actually build that app to support you. And many of the services on the app today are actually still free. So that's a good place for you to start around some of these things I've mentioned.
All right, fantastic. And he came back to say, I have community 5 years experience as a Python and machine learning engineer. So I think Bade has explained, various steps and various approach that you can take and review your own journey. You can do a self-assessment, or you can come into the eMigr8 community and have a self-assessment done with a coach. right? Just to check if you qualify, if you have the right documentation already. All right. The next question just popped in. Say, do project managers in technology stand a chance? Now, we've talked about three different routes today. We would like to know which of the routes are you referring to? Self-sponsored route, innovator founder visa, or technician? So global talent. Okay. For global talent, do project managers in technology stand a chance? Is the question, buddy.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Project managers in technology, because in terms of skill, yeah, that's something I failed to mention at the when I was talking earlier. There are two sides of tech. Because when I say tech, I'm talking about the technology field, not technical field, right? So there's this technical side of tech and there's business side of tech. So the business side would be the likes of project managers, product managers, digital marketing experts, sales managers, and people like that. So you would qualify for global talent under that route, as long as you're working with a product-led digital technology. And then, of course, the technical side of tech would also qualify. So we're talking software developer, DevOps engineer, platform engineers, cybersecurity experts, and the likes as well would qualify under the technical side of the UK Global Talent Visa. I would also mention again what I mentioned earlier to say the visas we've talked about today is by no means an exhaustive list of visas. What we tried to do during this session today was to focus on entrepreneurs and self-employed individuals to say these are routes that you can take a look at if you fall in that category.
Fantastic. And lastly, can you combine more than one business skill in your global talent visa application? Now we need to understand what business skills are you talking about, right? Because in putting your best foot forward, you want to highlight all your skill sets and what you have done with them, the impact your skill set have created, and what you plan to do in the UK, leveraging on your skill set. So when you say, can you combine more than one business skill in your application for global talent visa, we'll need a bit of clarity as to what you are referring to so that we can answer the questions correctly. All right, buddy, I have a different question, right? And
Yeah, so
it came back to say digital marketing, growth marketing, agile projects manager. So, okay, you want to look
yeah.
at that?
So let me take a stab. First issue, when you are filling your global talent form and you're applying, there's a drop down there where they will ask you, which expert skill are you applying for? That's the first one. Second thing is that you will likely be spreading yourself too thin. I mean, digital marketing and growth marketing, that is highly related. But then if you're then saying you're also agile project manager, you are going to spread yourself too thin. I would prefer that you pick one out of these two. And I say two because digital marketing and growth marketing is more or less the same thing from my perspective. I know they are different. Please don't bite me, anyone watching this later. I know they are different, but they are similar enough for you to combine that. But if you're then combining with digital project management or product management, that is such a different skill that it will be difficult for you to actually pull it through off. Don't forget that in Western countries, they are interested in specialists. In a lot of developing countries, we look for generalists. So we look for the graphics designer that is also UI designer, that is also UX designer, and so on. It's not the same in developed economies. A lot of times when they have a product manager, it's a product manager, which is different from a project manager, two different people. So they won't expect the product manager to also run as project manager in some cases. My point is just bear that in mind to say the perception of the assessor is that you're a specialist in something. It will be good for you to show your specialty first, and then you say, oh, by the way, I also do all these other things, rather than spreading yourself so thin that they now don't see you are not jack of all trade, master of none. I found out recently that catchphrase, we've been quoting it wrong, but anyway, my point still stands. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So let's talk about the innovator founder visa, right? And people would like to know more about that, especially for um non-technical people. Is there a way that they can leverage innovator founder visa for people that are not, let's say C-level executive of a startup or a tech business, but they have a bit of business sense, they have a bit of knowledge here and there within tech, right? And they're leveraging tech one way or the other, habits small in building their business today. Can they leverage innovator founder visa?
Yes, you can, and they are actually looking for you. The only thing is that they are not looking for, oh, we are using that innovation. So you likely want to start a new business, basically, which is focused on a particular innovation. So what they won't endorse is that, oh, we are running this business that does A, B, C, D. And then we've now built one technology that will do E, that we are bolting on the business. You will likely not get endorsed. What they are interested in is that this E that we are doing is core to this entire business itself. So this is important for you to think about. So of course, if you're already running an innovative startup and that's what your business already does, then you probably already qualify. Just put together your documents and all of that and apply. But if not, you can then start again, right? Start a new business or maybe a subdivision of your existing business that is focused on this particular innovation that you're saying that you want to take to the UK and then leverage the UK ecosystem to grow this globally.
Okay.
And you can be, sorry, I didn't answer one part of the question. And you
Yeah.
can be the technical co-founder or the business co-founder. So you can be the CEO making all the things happen, or you could be the technical person writing the code, but you have to show how your own expert skill is integral to running that business or startup.
All right. So that works. So we're going to look at Tech Nation visa, right? And there are rumors that Tech Nation is going to have a new sponsor, a new not sponsor now, a new endorsing body, right? Rumor says by the end of the year, towards the end of the year, what does that, how does that affect people who are planning to apply? Would there be change of rules or change of criterias? What are the advantages of applying now, or should they wait till the new endorsing body comes and simplify things possibly? How would you advise someone trying to apply for technician now in light of the new endorsing body coming in?
Okay, then. So I will say some facts, then I will say some speculation and assumptions, which is also based on um, insights of some sort. So the fact is that in 2025, sometime in March or so, there will likely be a new endorsing body for the UK Global Talent Visa in the field of digital technology. Why do we know? How do we know? It's because the Home Office is currently doing a whole procurement process where and when they do things like that in the UK, it has to be put in public domain. And that process is currently ongoing as far as we know. So we know that that is happening sometime in 2025, in the early part of 2025. So that's facts. So now the second part is now speculation. The question is, will the criteria change? It's unlikely that the criteria will change on day one. It will take a bit of time for the criteria to change at that point. But it is likely that the new endorsing body will want to rejig the system in one way or the other, right? The reason for the visa still remains the same. So we are not saying we don't think the visa will go away. It's unlikely to go away because the UK needs people like you who qualify at that level. So it's unlikely to go away. Will it get harder? We don't think so also. At least I don't think so also. And the reason why I don't think it will get harder than what it is already is because at this point, it is already not easy. All right. But if you qualify, you qualify, and you just need to be able to tell your story properly to show that you qualify. So I don't think it will get harder, but this is all speculation. When they release their information and when they release that, that's when we would know for a fact. A new government came into power in the UK. The new government clearly also has an agenda, even though they do say they want to reduce migration. The new government is finding out very quickly that they may actually need to import specific talents because there's a huge shortage in the UK. Of course, if you can do trainings, you will do trainings, but many of that training will take a number of years for it to yield the level of resources they need. So hopefully you've picked something from what I've said. The fact, though, is that some changes are coming in 2025 for the UK Global Talent Visa.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I think that has made a few things or a lot of things clear, right? So we'll go back to the sponsorship visa, right? So for someone that is already in the UK, right, how can they leverage the sponsorship, not the sponsorship visa, the sponsorship route, I should say, right?
Self-sponsorship route.
The self-sponsored route. How can they leverage that?
So you can talk to Self-Start UK. You can talk to us on the eMigr8 platform. We've got the Self-Start UK package now on the eMigr8 platform. For you to leverage that route, you will need to have a budget because it's a premium offering. You could also potentially say that you want to do it yourself. We support that a lot on the eMigr8 platform, and the information is there. In terms of doing it yourself, I would just implore caution to say ensure that you follow in total and pretty much just make sure that everything you need to do, you're doing it in the right way and all. So you can potentially do that. A lot of information will be available on the platform for you to support you doing that. But we do have a premium offering that is on the platform today that can help you do that as well.
All right. So for the UK guys, I think you can leverage on the information that Buddy just shared, right? And because I think a lot of people in the UK are looking to switch visa, and if they can sponsor themselves, yeah, that would be a fantastic approach. I think we have run out of question. It's interesting. Um, it's interesting, but we have one here. Are there any particular areas of startup business that you would recommend for the innovator founder visa route, for an innovator founder route? Are there any particular area of startup business?
So we are biased towards tech. Just to mention again, the Innovator Founder Visa is not only available to tech companies, it's available to any type of company, right? As long as you're able to show innovation. But we are biased towards tech. So it could be legal tech, it can be fintech, it can be health tech, it can be just put tech at the end of any industry we are interested in you, right? Because it's also easier to show scalability, it's easier to show innovation, it's easier to show viability with technology startup. Of course, you have to show that innovation properly, but hopefully I've answered your question to say this platform we are biased towards technology, and so maybe that's where you want to look into first.
Mhm. Oh, interesting. Okay. Can you go as a co-founder under innovator founder visa?
The
Yeah.
answer is yes, but we don't advise it. What you need to know is that your co-founder will be assessed. In each co-founder will be assessed independently. So let's say you are two founders, maybe one is CTO, one is CEO. The CEO will be assessed independently to say the skills that you have, are you important to this business? So if you make it, then the CTO is also going to be assessed independently. If you're doing that, we do not advise that you apply at the same time. It's best for the first person to apply. and then the next person would then apply afterwards, even if you're going to be doing that. But we don't advise that you apply together. Of course, this is not immigration advice or legal advice. I'm just saying that each founder will be assessed independently as regards the visa. So bear that in mind. Unlike the Canada startup visa, where you can move with 5 co-founders, up to 5 co-founders, that is, and all of you can move with your family. This is slightly different. So just bear that in mind.
All right, the question I've been avoiding has come finally. What will be the budget for self-sponsorship for someone in the UK in terms of do it yourself or emigrate support? So,
Yeah,
right.
so it depends. You can book a coaching session on that. It depends on a number of variables. For the emigrate support, depends on the number of variables. For the premium offering with Self Start UK, that also depends on a few things. And there's a premium coaching session on Saturday that we've mentioned, where a lot of that will be discussed in terms of what the breakdown looks like and all of those kind of things. So that's the best place to ask the question from the premium side. For the emigrate support side, it depends on too many things because there are multiple steps along the way as well.
All right, too many moving parts that we cannot decide in a general call how much those will cost. But yeah, depending on your uniqueness, it might be a lot cheaper or it might be a lot more affordable, right? I learned that cheaper is not a correct English recently. It's either it's affordable or it's not affordable. All right. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have more questions, we have space for one more, be the lucky one. But before that question comes in, I will just ask Buddy to advise the people in the room, all right, the tech enthusiasts, the expert C-level enthusiasts who are looking to leverage on the self-sponsored visa. What would you say to them? So for example, if I'm a beginner or a junior developer, what should I be doing right now? Looking at the self-sponsored visa, do I qualify even to even start looking at that? Right. Then if I'm a C-level executive, what should I be doing at the moment looking at the self-sponsored visa. So those category of people, can you speak to them?
Yes. So for beginners, I wouldn't advise for you to start with the self-sponsorship as an approach. And I assume when you say beginner now, you mean beginner in your career, not necessarily beginner in tech. If you're a beginner in tech, but you are well advanced in your career, you know how businesses run and all of those kind of things. You understand the risk, you understand businesses, you have relationships you can leverage on, you have a bit of capital you can work with, and all of that. UK self-sponsorship route is a good route to explore. But if you're an absolute beginner at the beginning of your career, this isn't the route we would say you should explore first of all. Because you're a beginner in your career, you should be building skills, and those skills can become your visa in the future. That they can become your visa in less than 2 years. We do have a program called the Global Tech Program, for example, over a 1 to 2 year period. So in less than 2 years, those skills can actually become your visa. So we wouldn't be advising you to think about self-sponsorship as a route. Moody, I believe your question though is to speak to the 5 audience in emigrate community, correct?
Yeah, because I was struggling how we put all five in this
We'll put all of
self-sponsor.
it together. Don't worry. I'll try and do that. But should we talk about the gifts for people that waited till the end at this
Yeah, at
point?
the end of that, I was going to announce the gift. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't forget, if you wait till the end of this session, you'll get a gift. If you're a beginner, what we've shared with you today, and today was biased towards entrepreneurs and self-employed professionals. But what we've shared is a snippet as regards what your career should look like, what your profile should look like, what your CV should look like over a period of time. Hopefully, you've picked 1 or 2 things there, and you can do more research. What you don't want is in 5 years' time, you find out that, oh, there are things I could have been doing 5 years ago, aka today. Ensure that you pay attention. Use the likes of the Emigrate community, use the likes of the Emigrate app and all of that to stay up to date, because what that is helping you do is to build you towards becoming globally attractive. So yes, you can say we are selling our product, but the truth is our product will help you where you are today. For intermediate people in the room, make sure that you assess yourself to say, yes, I'm good in A, I'm good in B, but maybe I'm weak in C. Maybe I want to build up a bit more on C and prioritize it a bit more. We speak with people who, I'll just give an example. I've spoken with a city of a medium company in Nigeria who was consciously rejecting invitation to speak. So anytime anybody says, come and speak somewhere, come and attend this event, come and go to this country, was actively rejecting it because the person is more into their computer and more eccentric and all of that. Of course, now the person is interested in a particular visa that is now asking that all those things that you have done, that's what you know. I mean, we were able to get the person got endorsed eventually with our support. But my point is that it could have had it easier if he wasn't rejecting some of those things. So please bear that in mind to say, look at your holistic profile. If you're an expert in the room, you are likely already qualified for one or the other of the visas that we're talking about. The only thing I would just say is make A while the sun shines. Ensure that you take advantage now, not when the door has closed, or not when it has now become much harder that maybe almost impossible for you to qualify. Make A while the sun shines as well, because time also counts. So we spoke about UK Global Talent Visa today, for example, and they are only interested in the things you've achieved over the last 5 years. So if it's something that you achieve, maybe your company had an IPO 7 years ago, it doesn't count. You sold a business 8 years ago, it doesn't count for that particular visa. So maybe you want to look at this, and even if you don't think you need it today because you're not looking at moving from your home economy, maybe you just want to ensure that you get that in the bag so that it's not when you need it that you then say, oh, I wish I had done it when I could have done it. If you are in the UK, not on a pathway to settlement, since we're talking about the UK today, the same criteria applies to you. They do not discriminate to say because you're in the UK or not. There are different rules that would apply, but my point is you will still need to qualify under the same criteria as those not in the UK. Don't wait till 2 weeks before your visa expires before you now start figuring out what it is to do and say, oh, we're here. What was it, that thing? What was that thing they were talking about 1 year ago? Don't wait till then. Start that journey immediately. Start that journey immediately, and eMigr8 is here to support your journey. Lastly, if you're ready to apply, there are a bunch of services available for you that is able to help you towards your objective of becoming globally attractive. We've built the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, and it's there to help you. Use it as often as possible. And also let us know how we can make it better for you, because we are building it for you at the end of the day. Back to you, Moody.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. So if you're on the call to this point, you have won yourself a free 10-minute coaching session to ask any question that will help you unpack and unlock any blockage or blockers that you have on your path to relocation. So it's a 10-minute free coaching session to speak to one of our coaches. We advise that you use it wisely. We advise that you go to the visa route that you are exploring, read the requirements, the optional and mandatory requirements, and ask questions that would help you move forward and not just generic question within that 10 minutes. So that will help you, move considerably faster on your journey to relocation. So it's a 10 minutes. How do you get this prize? You have to go join any of our eMigr8 community and say you were part of the August 21st open this session, and the admin in the group will schedule you for a call, a coaching session during the week. So you've won yourself a 10-minute coaching session. Use it wisely, be brief and brilliant, ask questions that can unlock blockers, and that will help you move quickly and move faster. And one thing I've said consistently, and Buddy has reiterated it also, is that you have to start immediately. There's no time. Some of these visa rules are changing every day. So the visa rule that is friendly today might not be friendly tomorrow, right? So you want to start And if you're already in the UK, you don't have to wait till your last year or last month or last quarter in the UK before you start looking for a visa route to switch to. The earlier, the better. So start putting the building blocks, start checking if you are qualified, and start working towards being globally attractive. And also, on Saturday, 24th now of August, right? There is self-sponsorship live event, group coaching that you want to be part of, exclusive to premium clients. What makes you premium is a paid event this time around, right? So you want to take advantage of that to ask all your question around self-sponsorship. You have between now and Saturday to think about the process, think about what I've been said. This session will be live on YouTube once we are done, so you can go back and re-listen and ask your question on Saturday and you will have coaches on ground to help you unpack any question as regards to self-sponsored visa route to the UK, specifically to the UK. And I'm just going to say also the eMigr8 platform has partners, and I talked about our partners earlier. So if you're a mentor, you're looking to mentor a group of mentee, one or two that your time can accommodate, join our mentorship platform and give back to the ecosystem. If you are a junior developer and you're looking to build more skill sets, or you're looking for exposure, especially if you are self-taught and you've not worked on a real life project, you want to join the Bincom Tech Global Tech Program, right? The promise of value there is skill. You're gonna learn skill. You're gonna gain exposure, right, on that platform. Working on real life platform increases your confidence. Working on client facing platform also increases your exposure, right, and build your knowledge base. So you want to take advantage of that, right? The reason why these countries are opening the different visa routes, right, is because they need individuals like you with skill sets, with the knowledge base to come in and contribute to their economy, either by closing the shortage gap they are experiencing in the economy or in different sectors around their economy, or creating employment for their citizens to be able to work, make a living, and ultimately pay taxes. All right. So fantastic. The link to join the Global Talent Program, Global Tech Program, the Bincom Global Tech Program for everybody that is looking to learn more skills, build their portfolio, increase their knowledge and exposure. The link is on the chart. You want to click on that and connect straight to the next cohort. There's also the labs by Bincom, right? So if you're in consulting in tech, if you're in services in tech, or if you are just in the designs, right, you want to be able to build products. You are wondering, I just contribute a quarter to my company, but I don't understand how it moves from ideation to market, right? We have the Bincom Labs by Bincom, right, that allows you work with other cohorts, which other like mind, to ideate a solution and build it, then take it to market. So it's a real life product that will be launched and will be taken to market. And of course, you look for product market fits and all that. You onboard customers on the product, and you can add that to your CV. You can add that to your portfolio. And if you're applying for Technician, that can be your digital-led product that you have worked on, that you can qualify you to apply for the for Technician, either as a exceptional promise or as exceptional talent. So these are many more things you will find on our ecosystem, on our app. We do advise you to download and use the app. If you use the app for straight 1 week, you're going to win a coaching session. It might be longer than 10 minutes, right? It might be, longer than 10 minutes. So we want to use the app as often as possible, right? The information, we've curated knowledge information across different visa routes from the US to Hong Kong to Australia, and extensively, we've covered the UK extensively, and those resources are available in the app. They are available on our website. You want to take advantage of those information and equip yourself with the right knowledge, equip yourself with the right skill set for your journey. All right. If you still have questions, please join our community, the Bincom community, and ask the question in the community. A coach will be there to answer you. We have coaches. Um, we have coaches in the community that will be there to answer any information, any question you have. All right. So please do join our communities and ask those questions. Today we spoke extensively on move and settle in the UK as an entrepreneur and self-employed professional. We focused on global talent. We focused on the innovator founder visa. Then we focused on the self-sponsorship route, right? And extensively talked about what you can do registering a business that can sponsor you to the UK as a tech entrepreneur, as a tech professional who is looking to move to the UK. So that has been the August open day. It's free, it's open. You can share the links on YouTube after now with your friends and family. And you can also direct them to our app to get more information, right? To reach us, we have we've shared our numbers in the past. Let's see, can but simply just join the community. But you can send a text message or WhatsApp these numbers on your screen, and we can talk about any visa route. So yeah, whether you want to talk about the US O1 visa or the EB or H1 visa, we can talk about that. The Canada startup visa or the Canada talent stream, we can talk about any visa route that you are exploring. We have coaches, and where we don't have coaches, we can recommend you to people who have the information you're looking for. So we have partners across board that we are working with. So thank you very much for joining us for this edition. Hope this has been worth it. But remember, knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. So go apply this information, go apply this knowledge and explore and come back. We want to hear your testimonial. We want to hear your success stories. And where you are having bottleneck, we want to help you unpack and help you move the blockers. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. I will see again in the next open day in the month of September. Thank you very much.